This episode contains discussions of aging, depression, dying, and suicide. Listen at your own discretion. It is Wednesday, the 30th of April, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day.
Raise a glass, you've made it another year. Happy birthday.
Here we are, after a whole year. Today is my 30th birthday. Or at least this episode comes out on my 30th birthday. I'm recording this a bit beforehand. Oh, God, it's so weird to think that I'm going to be 30 in a few days, and that's when this episode comes out. I discussed last week, when I was talking about the song 30 by Bo Burnham, that I considered a lot of songs for my birthday. I considered the Happy Birthday song, Happy Birthday, Your Birthday, a lot of different birthday-related songs. I also thought about Older by They Might Be Giants. You're older than you've ever been, and now you're even older. Right? Would be fitting. Or 1,000 years old. But I decided to do something a bit more serious for my birthday. So I decided to do the song See the Day, which was originally written and recorded by Brian David Gilbert, although he later re-recorded it with the Altogether. I'll get into that in a sec. Brian David Gilbert is an internet funny man. Let's put it that way. He's a YouTuber. He originally, got popular doing a few videos on YouTube, like comedy sketches, and a lot of them are songs. And then he worked at Polygon, where he got a big following. He did Unraveled. It was his big thing. And then he left Polygon and has been doing stuff on his own YouTube channel. He also has been doing a bunch of stuff with Dropout, like I'm Actually and Nobody Asked. Generally an all-around internet funny man, and also like a very skilled filmmaker, because he's not just funny. A lot of his quote-unquote comedy sketches are horror short films. Quite often they'll dip into something horrific, or they'll just be horror things and have like a light layer of comedy on them, I have been wanting to talk about his music because it is genuinely good. I wanted to talk about some other songs of his on here, but I just didn't have the time. I really wanted to talk about I Wish That I Could Wear Hats and Don't Tell Your Wife About This Game, both great songs, but instead I'm talking about See the Day. Now this song was originally created for his YouTube miniseries called Dances Moving, which I recommend. I will not be spoiling here. It's like an instructional dance show, but it has its own plot line, which is reflected in this song, and I'll get into that, but I'll try not to give you too much spoilers, because you should watch it without any spoilers. It's great. And so originally there was just this song was in the last episode, and he released it on his Bandcamp, But then there's a band that Brian David Gilbert used to be in called the Altogether. He formed it with Jonas Scott when they were in college together, and then Jonas Scott has continued to spearhead it with other people. I believe his sister and another singer. But the album Silo, released in 2020, I think was the last one with Brian David Gilbert on it as like a full member, and the second last track on the album is a re-recording of this song, and that's the version we'll be listening to today, although obviously I'll link to the original version. There's not too much difference, but it is just a slightly better version, So let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. That was See the Day by the Altogether. So, Dances Moving, the short series, is a dance instructional thing, like I said, but it's got this own storyline. There's a love story, but the big theme of the show is that Brian was moving from his hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, to New York, and he had kind of mixed feelings about that. I mean, he'd always lived in Baltimore, and now he was moving to New York, and that was a big thing for him. And there's a lot of anxiety and mixed feelings, and the show explores that. And this song is kind of summarizing that at the end and being kind of the end of one thing and the start of a new thing, moving forward into New York. That's as good a description I can give you without spoiling Dances Moving, because you really should watch it. But that's like the seeming intention of this song, but it can be read in a number of ways. Generally, it can be read as being about mental health struggles and depression and trying to, like, kind of realizing that you've gotten through hard times, and being surprised at that. And for me, this song resonates that way because I have also struggled with depression. I've struggled with suicidal ideation in my life, and I discovered this song, the original version, before it was re-recorded with the Altogether, when I was in a really dark place in my life, and I would listen to this song every day walking from college to my apartment, and it became a very important song for me, and that's why I'm talking about it on my birthday, because, when I was 15, I didn't think I'd make it to 18. When I was 18, I didn't think I'd make it to 20, and, I'm 30. I'm turning 30. And I never thought I'd see the day, you know, that's why we're talking about this song here. So let's go into the lyrics, shall we? The sun is rising up half the way. I never thought I'd see the day. The moon is crumbling, but that's okay. I never thought I'd see the day. The sea is bubbling beyond the shore. I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. Dive out of nothing and into more, but I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. Somehow, maybe now, I'll find the words to say, never thought I'd see the day. So, the sun is rising up half the way. It just sounds like he's watching the sunrise in the morning. I never thought I'd see the day. He didn't think he'd live to see another sunrise, you know. The moon is crumbling, but that's okay. I never thought I'd see the day. Again, just like watching the day-night cycle and being amazed that you're there to see it. The sea is bubbling beyond the shore. I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. You know, not being sure what to expect in his new opportunities, you know, going to New York, not being sure what it is he actually wants, but also like coming out of depression, you're not necessarily sure what you want your life to be. You just want it to be better. Dive out of nothing and into more, but I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. You know, he's talking about dive out of nothing, get out of a bad situation and into more, get into a better situation of something more engaging, but I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. I'm not sure what that is. Somehow, maybe now, I'll find the words to say, never thought I'd see the day. I like how this song is kind of reflecting on he wishes he could voice this better, but he's voicing it perfectly in this song. The sleeping slip has begun to fray. I never thought I'd see the day. The pious hunter stopped stalking prey. I never thought I'd see the day. Spent too much time writing all the lore. I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. So I'll live my life being so unsure, because I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. Somehow, maybe now I'll find the words to say, never thought I'd see the day. So, the sleeping slip has begun to fray. I'm not sure what that means, but talking about something beginning to fray, it sounds like he's kind of, especially the sleeping slip, like maybe it's about depression, like it's finally fraying away. I never thought I'd see the day. The pious hunter stopped stalking prey. I feel like he's talking about himself being the pious hunter, and he can stop hunting because he's found what he's looking for, even though he's not quite sure what he's hoping for, if that makes sense. Spent too much time writing all the lore. Some people take that literally to be about like he spent too much time working on Dance's Moving, but I think that's just generally a statement about he spent too much time planning things and he's, you know, can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. He's not sure actually what he's doing. He's kind of thought himself into a knot, you know what I mean? It's a big anxiety thing, especially because, you know, he's moving to New York to find a job and he's not sure what he's gonna do there, you know. He spends less time making his videos and making plans, and he's not sure what he's gonna find at the end of it. So I'll live my life being so unsure because I can't quite tell what I'm hoping for. There's hopefulness there. He's saying, you know, I'll live my life being so unsure. I want to find something, so I have to take those chances. I have to live my life being so unsure because otherwise I won't take those chances. And then it ends with, somehow maybe now I'll find the words to say, never thought I'd see the day. It's just such a good song, such a good capturing of this feeling. I can't believe I made it to this point. And for Brian, I'm not going to say it isn't about mental health, but, you know, thematically in the show, it was about getting new opportunities and being amazed that he's doing this thing and getting out there and looking for work, you know. And of course, he did make it. He went with Polygon. He got a massive following. He works with Dropout these days. I mean, it worked out for him, and I'm very happy for him. And for me, I mean, I struggled through school because I had undiagnosed ADHD. I had to repeat my leaving cert. I did a year of college and was too depressed to do any work, so I dropped out after a year. And then I did a PLC, and I only really mildly passed that. I took a year out to do work, and then I went back to college in Sligo, and that was way better for me, but I was in a bad relationship and I had to repeat my second year, but eventually I graduated, and since then I have been employed. I don't like the jobs that I'm doing, and they don't really use my degree in creative writing, but I have gotten through education and I've gotten employment, and I have a house with my boyfriend and our best friend, and it's just, you know, it's just incredible to be at this point in my life. My life could be a lot better, but it could be a hell of a lot worse, and it could be non-existent, but yet here I am. I never thought I'd see the day. I suppose that's the note I'm ending this episode on. So thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Raise your glass to another year. Friends and loved ones gathered here. Raise your glass to another year.
$1,000,000 being amazed that you're there to see it. How strange it is to be anything at all. Man, I really wish I had talked about Neutral Milk Hotel on here. Their songs are so fucking weird, but man, that song in particular I should have talked. Oh well, anyway. Too late now.